Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike, Max, Patrick, Royce, Lou, Nanny, and the effervescent Sid Hartman. How are you, sir?
Mr. Grand Marshal.
Dono Paredes. Good time out there. Big how are you, the folks out there? State amateur baseball tournament coming up there.
What do we people in the parade?
30,000.
What do we
30,000.
What do we call the Delano celebration?
The Delano 4th of July celebration.
Oh, that's it. It's not like Stiptenfust.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like
they got
that.
a lot of good, they got the
What's
Tilt-A-Whirl
Cocato? Red Rooster Days? Or something?
Yeah, it's not, I don't think it has a
They
name
don't have
like
a
that
fancy
yet.
name.
Should
like
be the
that.
ball of string.
Yeah, right. That's Darwin.
That's Darwin.
Dang
Yeah.
near there.
Yeah. Anyway, Sid, you couldn't do it, so it was either me or your statue.
No.
But your statue had some droppings on it again. Yeah. Hey.
You're like a guy you can't name. You're getting close to him.
No.
Yeah. All right.
No. Hey, what do you think of the Twins now? Last week you were optimistic when they got ready to play the Yankees with all those guys injured. You said this is when they're going to make their run.
They're not very good, I'll say that. They don't have... they can't pitch. They can't hit. I don't know what they can do. And the Yankees came in here with a horrible team. And it wasn't even close. At second baseman, he had a field day. It was like batting practice.
Robinson Cano.
Like batting practice for him. Talked a little bit about to Joe, the manager. He feels sorry for Gardy. You don't think he got any ball players?
Patrick?
That about summarizes it. No, I said, I was talking on the radio a couple of days ago and people were complaining. I said, here's their basic problem. They're not better than anybody. People were saying when they only won 2 out of 4 against Kansas City. Oh, well, what do you think Kansas City was saying? How did we only win 2 out of 4 against them? They're not better than anybody. They're favored about twice a week. Look at the odds. Look at the odds.
2 and 4 in the week.
You're favored twice a week. They're not wrong. They're right more often than not.
So, Lou, you're sitting there now. The trade deadline's coming up. Willingham's on the DL, so he's off the table. What do you do? Do you just sit and listen? Do you get proactive? What do you do if you're a GM and you got a team that's going this way?
Well, I think you're looking to build. You're not going to look to try and make a playoff position because you know you're not going to make it. So if they got somebody that they can give up for some good prospects like Terry Ryan's done in the past when he's added some real good young players, they would look at that and he would probably do that.
You got to use the Ben Revere philosophy, which is they weren't going to trade Ben Revere, and then Philadelphia called them up and said, we want Ben Revere, and we'll give you more than he's worth, and so they did. So that's what you got to do. If somebody wants to give you more than Clint Perkins is worth, make a trade.
The Yankee first baseman who's injured, is he a free
Mark Teixeira.
Is he a free agent after this
I
year?
doubt it, but I don't know.
He's got a bunch
I
of
think
years.
he is. Yankees might have a little interest in Morneau.
When he hit those 2 home runs, they might have.
Trouble with the Yankees
He'd hit a few home runs in that ballpark.
Trouble with the Yankees is their farm system's terrible.
Yeah.
They don't have any players, so I don't want to trade Morneau for a B prospect. I want an A1 or forget it.
Exactly.
Would you only trade for starting pitching at this point, pretty much?
No, I'd trade for anybody.
Anybody. You got a lot of positions that you'd like to improve, and there's no way that they're going to just hold out for pitching.
Okay. So, Sid,
let
me just ask you this, okay?
Huh?
Why has the Twins minor league system been so bad over the last several years? Is that scouting? Is it bad luck? What is it?
Well, one thing, there's 7 guys made the All-Star team.
Oh, yeah.
From the Twins. They got Hardy, the shortstop from
Carlos Gomez, Michael Kadire, David Ortiz, Torrey Hunter.
Nothing for all those guys, and there's a good indication why they're not that good.
Patrick?
Well, they waited for Carlos Gomez. They could have waited till 2013 for Carlos Gomez. That would have been 4 years after they got rid of him. I didn't hear anybody screaming about getting rid of Carlos Gomez in the middle of 2012. Now all of a sudden it's a tragedy that they got rid of him. Their trouble is they got Hardy for him, and then they turned around and traded Hardy for nothing. That's the mistake.
Yeah, but Louis, you always say you make trades and you don't look back.
You're going to make good ones, you're going to make bad ones. The thing when you make a trade is to just look at whether it's improving your ball club. It doesn't matter what the guy's going to do somewhere else. So whoever they got for Gomez, if he came in and improved the ball team from what they were, they made a good trade. If he didn't, then he made a bad trade. You can't concern yourself how somebody's going to play somewhere else.
When you're dealing with these general managers, because you see a lot of teams end up trading with the same teams, is that just because they don't trust a lot of people and they only trust a few?
No, not only that. You got a lot of general managers that are afraid to deal. They talk like they'll make trades, but a lot of people, when it gets right down to it, they can't pull the trigger. They can't make the deal. They really get all tied up in knots, and they just get frozen. So some guys are willing to trade and have no problem doing it. Others have a tough time, and so you don't see them making these trades.
But not everybody's got their own personal Baz Bastien like you used to have. You should have went to jail for some of the trades you made with your Baz.
Here's one of the problems. Check out what they've gotten in their trades. There's been guys that got in trades. Check it out. Yeah. It's not very good.
Take a break. Come back. The Sports Show. Stay with us.
Next group.
Locally owned, nationally known, J.D. Hoyt's, a steak of choice. Absolutely. Stop on by on the way to the ballpark or just downtown. Like Sid before he went to the Lynx game tonight for the first half. That's where he goes. Comes over, does the show. It's called The Good Night. Louis, the salary cap was in place, so everybody thought it would be a relatively quiet time for the Wild. I guess it was in the big relative to the rest of the league, but they made some moves. They did a couple of deals that people didn't see coming.
Well, they had to make some moves because they bought out Gilbert. They had to add defensemen. And then when they let Setaguchi go for a draft pick, then they had to add a forward.
Why are they giving up on Setaguchi this soon?
I don't know. That one I'm wondering about because...
Or is that a cap move?
That's not a cap move because you paid the guy coming in almost the same amount of money. And Setaguchi was going into his last year, but you can't worry about losing him there. What concerns me is you got to get 220 goals anyway when you look at your season coming up. Who's going to score the goals? So if you take Setaguchi out of the lineup, that's another hole for a potential goal scorer. Where are you going to get those goals to make the playoffs? That's banking a lot on the young kids, Coyle and Zucker and Granlund, and somebody's going to, and knee writer that came in.
They really like him.
Yeah, and I like him too. I think that was a good move getting him. I just don't know, if Setaguchi was a good move giving him up.
Coach must have hated him. Coach must have hated him.
Yeah, well, Coach hates it doesn't matter because if I'm the manager, I don't care if the Coach hates him.
Well, somebody hated him.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like, doesn't it?
You trade him for a second-round pick.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of ability.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't give it to you every night.
He gave it to you enough this year. He had a good year. You don't make the playoffs without him and Cullen, and they were among your better players in the playoffs. So
Matt Cullen, you're handcuffed with?
Well, you're handcuffed because of money. You just couldn't pay him as much as Nashville was going to pay him.
Don't you think, last year at this time, I talked to Matt often, and he's thinking, I may never play in the NHL again because the lockout was looming. Now he gets that season and gets another $7 million. What's happened with him? Why has he become such a nice fit for everybody?
Because he had such a good year. He played so well. He still has speed. He still makes plays. He still works as hard as anybody.
He's
great in all the ways. So he was a good.
If he's so good, why didn't you get rid of somebody else so you could keep him?
Because nobody wanted to take the contracts. When you got a salary cap, you can't just get rid of the contract unless somebody wants to take it.
I think they got rid of somebody.
That would have been hard to do, though, because Heatley would have been the obvious guy, and he's hurt, and you can't trade him or do anything with him while he's hurt.
Or buy him out.
Yeah.
I'm not a hockey expert, but a couple guys that know, like you, they're going to miss that Cullen more than anything. Any additions they made, that subtraction is going to really hurt them.
Who told you that?
They need Zucker to be a goal scorer, and they need some of the kids. They need Granlund to be an actual player. That's to me the big mystery. Yeah. If he can play, they'll be okay.
Granlund plays, that plugs the hole for Cullen, and Cullen played very well. Cullen gave him a good year, and he might be able to give him another good year, but they don't have him. So.
What's your scouting report today on Granlund?
Granlund went down there. He played very well. He was getting a lot of points in the minors, and hopefully he gets a little stronger and is able to take the physicalness of the league. But he's gifted. He's got great vision on the ice. He moves the puck well. He skates well. Not fast, but he's quick.
Flop of the year.
Flop of the year.
It was a flop of the year. All I know is all our hockey geniuses. Here comes the next Bobby Hull.
Sometimes it takes a year.
He couldn't even score in Houston.
Larry Robinson didn't come up till he was 23 either. Granlund was 20.
I didn't know you were that down on Granlund. What is it you don't like about his game?
I don't know anything about hockey. Right. I don't know anything about other sports. But all I know is I kept on reading about this guy, Finnish, right?
Yeah.
How great he is. He's going to be the greatest thing in the world.
You were the one writing in your column.
He sat up in the press box more than anybody else.
No, he didn't.
He mostly sat in Houston.
Yeah, exactly.
So Matt Cook.
Yeah, what about Cookie?
Cook's going to replace Clutterbuck. They couldn't keep Clutterbuck, and he's going to replace Clutterbuck.
He might replace David Berkowitz.
No, he's not that bad. No, he's not that bad
Son
anymore.
of Sam.
I'll tell you one thing. First of all, he's changed about more than that. He's older. When you get older, you play differently.
You don't want to fight anymore?
You don't fight as much, and you don't. Well, he never did fight a lot. It was the way
he just took cheap shots.
Yeah.
Who did they give up for him? Is somebody good?
None.
They just signed him.
Available.
But he's a good checker.
You don't sound happy
worker.
with that one either, Sid.
I think the coach is going to really be on the spot the first month of this next season.
But you don't sound happy with the Cook signing either, huh?
Who knows anything about Cook?
Well,
Dr. Cook.
He's
related to Dr. Cook.
Ryan
McDonough.
Ryan McDonough, the local boy, he knows about him.
Yes,
he got
he
one of his elbows to the head.
He thought it was Chris Cook from the Vikings.
Yeah, he's still trying to piece all
Another
this together.
upstanding young man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'll stay with my theory about the Vikings. They got to find a way to replace 4 guys they lost. And if they don't replace those 4 guys, they're going to be in trouble too.
So everybody is on the verge of being in trouble in this town, except the Twins are already in trouble.
Yeah. Well, I think if the Timberwolves can keep Rubio and Love healthy and re-sign Petrovic, I think they'll be pretty competitive.
You've been seeing that, though, for 9 years. I do think that this year they will be.
Let's take a break. We'll continue that thought when we come
I
back.
haven't been saying that for 9 years.
Got 2 guys.
There it is, out in Minneapolis, right off of General Mills Boulevard. Stop on by, see Charlie, see Bruce, see the whole gang, get behind an A4, turn the air conditioning on, and find out what a smooth ride is really all about. Welcome back to the sports show. Before we talk about the Timberwolves, all of a sudden Kevin McHale's Houston Rockets have become a favorite overnight.
Well, how they do with the salary cap? They got that Harden, now they got that...
Dwight Howard.
They got 2 guys at the max and a lot of guys who aren't going to be making the max.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I can't... Somebody said he gave up $30 million to go to Houston. Is that true?
$30 million over
but he gets
a period
out of his
time, I don't know.
contract. He gets out of his contract earlier, and he's got an out, so he can. I mean, he could get guaranteed more, but plus you got Texas state income tax compared to California state income tax. What's that?
That adds about 10% right there.
Right there. So.
In general, do you like the salary caps? Is that best for the leagues?
Well, I don't. I like what we had before when there was no free agency and right of first refusal and compensation. How could it be better than that if you're a manager?
He's like
you don't have to give up anything you don't want to give up. And if somebody signed you, if you wanted to meet it, you just match the price.
You know what, though, fellas? It used to be, if you had a bad baseball team, July was, until training camp started, it was the dog days of sports in the Twin Cities.
Yes.
Right? It was, I mean,
you're absolutely right.
If you had a bad baseball team, I remember writing columns in the early 80s. I was going to croquet at Madden's and lumberjack days and anything to get a column.
But now
the free agency hits on July 1st. It's nuts.
Yeah, you get hockey and basketball.
Yes.
You get a free ride for a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Throw in a little Howard Pulley and Larry Fitzgerald's camp, and you can get all the way to the Vikings training camp. I know exactly what you mean.
But you know the salary cap.
Including the university, this town has got as many losers as anybody in the world. Dick Cullum was one of the great people of all time. He had his Lose It and Love It club.
That wasn't when Louis was playing for the North Stars, I hope.
Huh?
Louis, what was the first?
How do I have a reputation as being the negative guy in town? That's what I want. I don't know. How's that? Hey, I'm a sweetheart.
Yeah. Louis, what was the furthest you went in the playoffs?
As a player,
You're a sweetheart. Let me just say this.
As a manager at the
Just let him say this.
The results are there, sir. Right on the board. Look at them.
Yeah.
So the Timberwolves would pick up this Martin. You come away happy with Buttinger and Martin, assuming they get Pekovic, that they'll be competitive. Where do you come away on this?
I say if they sign the big guy,
Pekovic,
they'll be pretty good.
Well, they're going to sign him.
I'm not saying they're going to win the championship, but I think they can be competitive. They were competitive the first month when they had Rubio and Love healthy. They played pretty
Rubio
good.
Love
They
for
had
about
pretty
2 games.
Sid, as you used to say when you ran the Lakers, who do they got that's going to watch somebody? You used to talk about Garden guys. You used to say they don't. Who's going to watch somebody?
Right.
Martin doesn't play defense. Love doesn't play defense. Pekovic tries, but he can't play any defense.
Well,
Who's
they got
gonna
to start
guard
playing
somebody?
defense.
How?
Way back, Minneapolis Lakers always
Give
got
them
a lot,
tasers, or
always
what are you
got
going
a
to
lot
do?
of credit about Mike and defense. They played. Slater Martin took that koozie. He never scored in double figures against them.
Well, that's what he's saying. Who's going to
Who's
play
going to
defense?
play defense?
Yeah, I don't know.
Martin doesn't
Slater
play
Martin's not
defense.
coming
I don't
back.
know the answer.
Yeah, well, you had Kuhnla. Kuhnla was more of a defensive coach.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? You know what's going to happen though? Derek Williams, after Adelman gets a whole load of Shabazz Muhammad.
Yeah, he's going to move up.
Derek Williams is going to be his favorite player. All of a sudden, Derek Williams is going to go from the outhouse to the man. I love Derek Williams. Watch him. Watch his effort.
Should be his favorite player.
But I'll say if they're healthy and if they score a lot of points, if they're competitive, they will sell out the Target Center a lot because people are that close. They want to follow this team. They just don't give them a reason.
I think they got the best chance of the 4 pro teams to win some games. I really do.
Better than the Wild?
Huh? Yeah, I think so.
You were wrong last year, by the way. Remember that when we had the same show a year ago? I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that you were wrong then.
Wild didn't set the world on fire
But they had
last year.
they made the playoffs.
And,
We
I
were
don't think
picking,
they'll
and
set
you
the
picked
Wild.
them not to.
I don't think they'll set the Wild on
Just
fire
the-
next year either.
That's right, but last year you were wrong.
Huh?
Last year you were wrong.
Let's put it this way, Lou. When you
Is
ran,
it tough to say?
When you ran a hockey team, I had a lot of confidence in what's going on. I'm not so sure some of these teams how they're run.
All right, last question for you, Louis. Then, so when you get Suter and Parisi, and they, they're going to tie up a lot of money for the cap. Do they attract more bargain players that say, "Hey, they're that committed, I'll come and play for less"?
Well, they don't have any room this year. What's going to happen next year?
Is that supposed to be a spill
next
off of
year,
this?
Yeah, but next year you're going to see they'll have $20 million of cap space.
Yep.
And I think there's a strong possibility Vanek's going to be in his last year
Vanek's
contract.
coming here.
He'll be coming here to St. Palmerville. You got Suter, you got Brodeen. Now that's a core of 6 people that are very good.
Vanek's
so if they
8,
get Vanek, and
what's
other
the
guy-
max now? 8?
Yeah, 8-2 or so.
8-2.
But Vanek's not going to. He'll come here for 6.5. You know.
He's an 8 guy though.
No,
he's a
he's
max
not 8.
guy.
No,
How can they cut
no,
20
no.
million? How can they cut
Guys,
20
they got
million?
contracts.
He
We're
got
gonna take a
contracts
break.
expiring.
We'll take a break, come back, finish it up when we come back.
How can they cut?
There it is, corner of Lagoon and Fremont, uptown Minneapolis. Bar Abilene. For reservations, call 612-825-2525. They've got it all perfect this summer to cool down at Bar Abilene.
That's a going area over there now.
Isn't it?
man.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, you guys should get some apartments over there. Oh, wait.
Sid got
Some
him.
already do. Are you happy with the Gophers' off-season workouts?
Well, the NCAA is a joke. The basketball guys can work out 8 hours a week all summer.
Right,
Football guys can't work out. They only can work on their own.
right.
And it just isn't fair, I don't think.
Well, why did they start letting the basketball guys work out? Why did they start doing that?
I don't remember if there's a reason given.
Yeah, it started. I think last year was the first year.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
How's Norwood Teague doing over there, Louis?
He's doing fine. He feels good. He's working hard. He's trying to raise money for the practice arena. He's got a lot of optimism about the athletic programs there. So
When's he
next
going to
week-
stop trying and start succeeding on raising that money? Huh?
Next
We've been
week-
trying.
Yeah.
You and I had a full head of hair. You were white. You were dark-haired when we started
And
raising
study
money.
all the facilities.
Ike
The
Armstrong
things will
wanted
be
to build.
revealed next week.
Yeah.
Where are they going to get the money? That's what I want to
They
know.
were hoping you'd be the lead donor.
Yeah, well,
I won't be.
Why not?
They got 400,000 of my money.
No, that's
your
the dinner money. The dinner money.
Now we gotta
want
go
your
through this
money.
again.
My money. My name raised it.
but why not give some more, Sid? Right now, the university really needs it.
Why don't you give it?
Because I'm under contract, I'm not allowed to.
He gave him
My contract is very
He
specific,
gave
and I
him the
can't give money.
$5,000 that he got for being Grand
and
Marshal.
I
in
used to have him write the
Delano.
check to the practice facility. I said, I don't want it.
I think you should turn one of those apartment buildings over to him.
Yeah.
For student housing.
Gift it. See,
By
you
the
should have
way-
gifted it before July 1st.
Hey, when you were at the U, your first year, where'd you stay? Your first couple of
Cook
years.
Hall?
First 3 years, I stayed at Frontier Hall.
Well, that's kind of the accommodations over there are kind of changing, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they
They're
are.
building
A
them
lot
all
of-
these
yeah.
nice
At this
apartments.
point, they haven't raised, they can't find one guy to give them up with $7,500 so they can build that basketball arena.
Not
$7,500?
How
$75
great-
million?
How great they are. raising money.
$7,500. No, how much?
They got to raise
Hell, if-
7,500.
They talk nice to me. I'll give them 7,500. 75,000, you mean?
75,000.
75,000.
75,000.
What's that
They
going to
need
get
18
you?
million for the building.
It's going to get you a screen porch.
They got to raise like the baseball did.
That flood in my basement cost me that
Yeah,
much
that's what I'm
money.
saying. I'm saying.
They haven't raised whatever.
Well, I tell you,
They need a prime.
I understand
a
what you're
prime
saying. Yep.
guy.
They had a prime guy, and then they didn't
Prime
let him
guy.
buy the hospital.
As you grow older, you grow less and less optimistic about the future.
Oh, my
I don't know
God.
what it is.
It's unbelievable.
I'm not that optimistic over there.
Yeah, that's, that's what I'm saying. See you back here next week, everybody. Thanks for
I'm
watching.
the good guy, remember?
Mr. Positive over here,
That's
Patrick.
right.
Wow. See you next
Holy
week, everybody.
cow.